Breakthroughs in medical science. Prehistoric peoples believed that angry gods or evil spirits caused sickness and illness. The medicine men of these early civilizations attempted to pacify their gods and drive out evil spirits from the body through rituals. Years later, the Greek physician Hippocrates showed that disease has only natural causes. His medical practices of 400 BCE started many ideological and technological contributions to the development of modern medicine. In 100 CE, a Greek physician named Galen made the most important contribution to medicine in Roman times. Because Galen conducted scientific experiments on animals and developed medical theories and ideas based on his experimental research, he is considered the founder of experimental medicine. His ideas were accepted by doctors for hundreds of years. Many of his theories, however, were wrong. Galen rarely performed experiments on humans, and this resulted in many false conclusions about how the human body works. Before the Renaissance, which happened in Europe from about 1300 to the 1600s, most people did not believe in the dissection of human corpses. When these restrictions ended, the first scientific studies of the human body started. Physicians such as Andreas Vesalius of Italy and artists such as painter Leonardo da Vinci recorded detailed descriptions and drawings of the body. Doctors began to learn more about the human body. With a better understanding of human anatomy, doctors greatly improved surgical techniques. The 16th century French army doctor Ambroise Paré, for example, is considered the father of modern surgery for his new surgical practices. In the mid-1600s, a Dutch amateur scientist named Anton van Leeuwenhoek first used a microscope to study tiny particles that were so small the eye could not see them. His research eventually led to the discovery that certain kinds of organisms, later named bacteria, cause disease. About 100 years after Leeuwenhoek's discoveries, smallpox broke out in the Western world in large epidemics. Smallpox was the most feared disease of the 18th century. It killed thousands and left thousands more disabled. Then, in 1796, an English physician named Edward Jenner discovered a way to produce immunity to the disease. He found that infecting people with cowpox, a relatively mild relation of smallpox, prevented them from contracting smallpox. Jenner's dosage of cowpox was the world's first vaccine, and the beginning of the science of immunology. By the early 19th century, anesthetics had been discovered. Now that patients could be put to sleep during surgery, doctors could perform operations never before possible. By the end of the century, researchers had discovered specific bacteria and other kinds of germs that caused many infectious diseases. These included plague, cholera, malaria, pneumonia, and tuberculosis. Doctors in the 1800s also began using antiseptics in surgical hospitals. Techniques for disinfecting surgical wounds and instruments drastically reduced the risk of bacterial infections. People stayed healthy after surgery. Technological advances of the 1900s further developed the field of medicine. The discovery of X-rays by German physicist Wilhelm Röntgen, for example, allowed doctors to view an image of the inside of a human body. This allowed for more accurate diagnoses of injuries and illnesses and fewer mistakes. The discovery of radium by French physicist Pierre and Marie Curie led to modern treatments for cancer. Around 1910, the German physician and chemist Paul Ehrlich introduced a new way to fight disease. His method, called chemotherapy, used chemicals to destroy disease-causing microbes. His work became the start of modern drug research. The first antibiotic developed by scientists was penicillin. In 1928, the English scientist Sir Alexander Fleming observed the power of the mold Penicillium to kill bacteria. Nearly 10 years after his discovery, a group of English scientists led by Howard Florey first isolated the drug penicillin from this mold. Since then, researchers have made many drugs to fight diseases and other disorders. These include, for instance, high blood pressure, arthritis, heart attacks, and cancer. Much of the recent progress in medical science was made possible by advances in the engineering field. Engineers have invented a variety of instruments and machines. Heart pacemakers and fine surgical tools help doctors to better diagnose, treat, and prevent human diseases and disorders.